Thank you, Lynn, for sharing this exciting initiative celebrating Lorraine Hansberry. And thank you to the Lilly Awards for all that you are doing to celebrate, support, and advocate for women in theater. My name is Erin Moore, and I have performed in the Broadway cast of Follies, After Midnight, and Shuffle Along. You may have also seen me on your TV in Fosse Verdon, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and on SNL. I'm currently working with the Broadway Theater Coalition in their producing and management and PR seminars, learning new skills on the other side of the table to bring my leadership capacity and interest to producing and creating more equitable work in theater. I'm so excited for us all to be able to get back together. As our fourth annual Women's Day on Broadway comes to a close, I have the great pleasure of introducing our distinguished closing speaker, Pearl Clegg. Ms. Clegg is an Atlanta-based playwright, essayist, novelist, poet, and political activist. She is currently the Distinguished Artist in Residence at the Tony Award-winning Alliance Theater, where her play, Angry, Raucous, and Shamelessly Gorgeous, had its world premiere in 2019. Her first of 8 novels, titled What Looks Like Crazy on an Ordinary Day, was an Oprah Book Club pick and spent 9 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Her memoir, Things I Should Have Told My Daughter, Lies, Lessons, and Love Affair, was published by Simon & Schuster in 2014. Ms. Clegg has written over a dozen plays and has a robust collection of essays, poetry, short fiction, and even a children's book. Without further ado, Ms. Pearl Clegg.
Good afternoon. My name is Pearl Clegg, and I'm a playwright joining you from Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to share 2 things with you. One is a memory, and one is a poem. The first one is a memory from the winter that I turned 12 years old. I was growing up in Detroit, and the Negro Ensemble Company came to town with a touring production of A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry, and all of us went. We were in a high school auditorium, and it was packed. There was not a seat. There was no standing room available. It was packed. And it was winter in Detroit, so it was very cold. There was snow, and we all had giant coats on, but you had to either sit on your coat or hold it in your arms because there weren't enough seats for us to put the coats to the side. So we did, and we got settled in, and then the play began. And it was the most amazing experience I think I've ever had in the theater. There were all my friends, all my neighbors, all my family. And we were sitting there watching a play that was all about us. And it was amazing. It was moving, it was challenging, and it made us all feel like we were family watching family. At the end of the play, when Mrs. Younger takes that sad little plant that she has such high hopes for and leaves the stage, there was a moment of complete silence while all of us just digested what had happened with us and to us. And then we rose to our feet and applauded and stamped and hollered wildly for easily 15 or 20 minutes. And the cast kind of, came back a couple of times. They came back a couple of more times, and we just wouldn't stop. And I know that if they had been willing to come back and do the whole play again, we would have gladly sat back down and watched the whole play again, but they couldn't. So we all put our coats on, went out into the snowstorm that was now outside in Detroit. And as we were walking to the car across the parking lot, I said to my mother, that's what I want to do. I want to write plays like that. So that was the moment when I realized that I wanted to be a playwright and not a poet. And when I realized I wanted to write something that allowed me and my neighbors to see ourselves on that stage. So I owe Lorraine Hansberry a great debt of gratitude for being such a wonderful artist, and also for letting me know that I was indeed a playwright. The second thing I want to share with you is a poem that I was asked to write by Oprah Winfrey back in 2005. She was doing a celebration of 45 legendary African-American women. And she asked me if I thought I could write something that would tell them how we felt about them. And I said, of course I can. I could talk about the women she was honoring all day and all night without ever having to look up anybody's career. So I said, of course I could. And this is what I wrote. And it's actually sort of a celebration of their lives, but it's a celebration of all of us, of women, artists who are working in theater who are trying to tell our stories. And it's called We Speak Your Names. So I want to share that with you. Because we are free women, born of free women, who are born of free women, back as far as time begins, we celebrate your freedom. Because we are wise women, born of wise women, who are born of wise women, we celebrate your wisdom. Because we are strong women, born of strong women, who are born of strong women, we celebrate your strength. Because we are magical women, born of magical women, who are born of magical women, we celebrate your magic. My sisters, we are gathered here to speak your names. We are here because we are your daughters as surely as if you had conceived us, nurtured us, carried us in your wombs, and then sent us out into the world to make our mark and see what we see and be what we be, but better, truer, deeper, because of the shining example of your own incandescent lives. We are here to speak your names because we have enough sense to know that we did not spring full blown from the forehead of Zeus, or arrive on the scene like Topsy, our sister once removed, who somehow just grew. We know that we are walking in footprints made deep by the confident strides of women who parted the air before them like the forces of nature that you are. We are here to speak your names because you taught us that the search is always for the truth, and that when people show us who they are, we should believe them. We are here because you taught us that Sister Speak can continue to be our native tongue, no matter how many languages we learn as we move about as citizens of the world and of the ever-evolving universe. We are here to speak your names because of the way you made for us, because of the prayers you prayed for us. We are the ones you conjured up, hoping we would have strength enough and discipline enough and talent enough and nerve enough to step into the light when it turned in our direction and just smile a while. We are the ones you hoped would make you proud because all of our hard work makes all of yours part of something better, truer, deeper, something that lights the way ahead like a lamp unto our feet, as steady as the unforgettable beat of our collective heart. We speak your names. We speak your names. You could not have known how closely we watched your every move, how we hung on your every word, how eagerly we ran to sit cross-legged in front of the television whenever you were on Ed Sullivan or Soul Train or 60 Minutes, how patiently we saved our money to buy that record or that theater ticket or that museum membership or that magazine subscription that would allow us to see doing what nobody else had ever done before in just that way, on every front, all at the same time. We were so proud of you, it made us walk taller, smile wider, dream bigger. You could not have been in each of our little black girl bedrooms, watching us hold that make-pretend microphone as we lip-synced your latest hit when dinner was ready downstairs, or curled up under the covers with your new book when we had math homework to do, or prayed for your safety when our parents told us you were somewhere fighting for our freedom and it was dangerous work. It is always dangerous work, but the trade-off is unacceptable. From you, we learned that freedom is non-negotiable. Could not have known that your collective example of the limitless possibilities that were open to us is what allowed us to look our mothers in the eye and say, Mama, I want to be a singer. Mama, I want to be an actress. Mama, I want to be a dancer or a sculptor or a lawyer or a leader or a writer or a world-changing force for good, loose in the world and whirling. And even when she rolled her eyes and shook her head and pronounced us more our Father's child than we had ever been hers, she knew you had planted those ideas in our heads. And she thanked you for letting us see that we could be part of something better, truer, deeper. We speak your names. We speak your names. Because we are sensual women, born of sensual women, who are born of sensual women, we celebrate your passion. You taught us that the mysteries of true love are sometimes harder to unravel than all the others we attempt to understand, but that when we are lucky enough to find that thread, the rewards are worth everything, because the time to have enough of love is never. Because we have had our hearts broken, we know your tears and have felt the same fears of never finding one who can share our light without getting lost in it or tossed in it into a wind that always blows colder than we think it will. We celebrate your willingness to continue to search for love and find it and lose it and find it and lose it again until we finally find it for real and learn to hold on tight by not holding on at all. From you, we learned that love, like beauty, comes in many forms. You showed us what love looks like when it's perfect and when it isn't. You let us watch you looking, reaching, yearning, always moving toward the light of something better, truer, deeper. We speak your names. We speak your names. And you made it look so easy. You changed the world around you with such fierce determination, effortless style, and unshakable grace that we never suspected how hard it was to be out there in the real world, where sisterhood sometimes seems an abstract idea and not the living, breathing thing we know and need and want it to be. We have sometimes shivered at the edges of a very cold place, where people do not always see our beauty or understand the rhythm of our song. At those moments, we whisper your names as a talisman and a touchstone, so we will not forget who and what and why we are here. And then sometimes, in recognition of our superior skill or our undeniable talent or our absolute refusal to bend in the face of injustice, sometimes we win the prize, the big one, the one they will mention forever after when they call our names or write our reviews or compose our obituaries. Sometimes at that crucial first one ever moment, we are invited to come to center court at Wimbledon or up on the Oscar podium or the Oval Office or the Nobel ceremony or the Broadway stage and express our feelings and the feelings of every other African American woman watching at a moment when all we really want to do is call your names. All we really want to do is thank all of you for being with all of us whenever and wherever we find ourselves standing alone in the light. At those moments, we remember those lessons you shared by living your very public lives with such integrity and honor that they became something better, truer, deeper. We speak your names. We speak your names. Because we are free women, born of free women, who are born of free women back as far as time begins, we celebrate your freedom. Because we are wise women, born of wise women, who are born of wise women, we celebrate your wisdom. Because we are magical women, born of magical women, who are born of magical women, we celebrate your magic. We celebrate your courage. We celebrate your spirit. We celebrate your genius. We celebrate your loving kindness. We celebrate your faith in yourselves and in us. We thank you for the dues you paid and the prayers you prayed. We thank you for showing us how to fly by flying. We thank you for these wings. And we stand before you now, your living legacy, the flesh and blood of our collective dreaming. And we realize with a knowing deeper than the flow of human blood in human veins that we are part of something better, truer, deeper. We speak your names. We speak your names. We speak your names. Happy Women's History Month. Thank you.